Excuse me, do you know why we pulled you over today? Exactly, it's because you're not subscribed. So you better fix that right now, or we're gonna have to take you in. Apple's Lightning port is nearing its expiration date. So what's next for iPhone? I would say MagSafe. MagSafe should be next. I don't think USB-C is going to replace Lightning, because it's just, I don't know, it's not an Apple thing to do. But let's hear what Victoria has to say on the subject.
Apple's Lightning port is nearing its expiration date, so what's next for the iPhone? When Phil Schiller introduced the Lightning connector at the unveiling of the iPhone 5 in September 2012, he called it a modern connector for the next decade, and with that 10-year mark coming up later this year, questions remain over what the future of the iPhone looks like and whether or not that future will include a Lightning port, or perhaps no port at all. Every iPhone since the iPhone 5 has featured a Lightning port, which Apple touted in 2012 as a smaller, smarter and more durable port compared to the previous 30-pin connector. Even as the majority of the company's iPad line and the entire Mac line now feature USB-C, the iPhone has become the odd one out with its inclusion of Lightning. The smartphone industry has rapidly transitioned to USB-C, with the vast majority of handsets on the market featuring the more versatile port. Apple's reluctance to follow the industry in adopting USB-C has annoyed many customers, but it appears Apple is sticking with Lightning on iPhone for the considerable future. Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who frequently shares accurate insights into Apple's product plans, has said the company believes the adoption of USB-C would negatively impact its made-for-iPhone (MFI) program, and notes that Apple is concerned about lower standards of water resistance for USB-C compared to Lightning. Given those 2 points, Kuo says the iPhone will continue to feature Lightning for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I would say so as well. And if not, it's probably going to be MagSafe, and MagSafe with AirDrop or whatever. So you still have the actual data connection with it. The moment you attach the plug to the back of the iPhone, it would enable AirDrop, and AirDrop would just be AirDrop 3. So it's not just going through Wi-Fi or just going through Bluetooth. It's just a proprietary connection or something, which is going to simulate a wired connection to the iPhone. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but that's something that I feel like Apple is more like Apple to do, right? So, we're going to have to wait and see. But USB-C, it doesn't feel like something that Apple would do. But anyways, let's continue with the article.
Apple's ultimate goal for the iPhone is to go completely portless, relying on MagSafe and wireless connections for charging and data transfer needs. MagSafe on the iPhone, which first debuted on the iPhone 12, is still not fully matured and is so far limited to charging. Apple is highly unlikely to abandon Lightning and adopt USB-C for only a few years before going portless. Instead, it's more likely to use Lightning while continuing to MagSafe matures for a future portless iPhone. The European Commission could, however, impact how soon we get a portless iPhone. The EC has proposed a directive that would require all consumer electronic devices, including smartphones, tablets, cameras, headphones, portable speakers, and handheld video game consoles, to feature a common port, aka USB-C. If the directive does pass in 2022, companies such as Apple will have 2 years to transition their devices to USB-C. There are some caveats, though.
So yeah, I mean, this is something that I feel like I have touched on before, but if I'm not mistaken, they have like the proprietary short-range connection with the Apple Watch right now. I'm not sure what it's called anymore, but it's like, especially when you are like in very close range of the Apple Watch, it would help you get some sort of connection that's very fast and but it's also like something that you have to be in very close range on with the actual Apple Watch. I'm not sure if I told you guys this before, but it has been on the news for a really long time, so you guys probably know already. But it is very much something that would upgrade the speed. Exactly, yes, it would upgrade. They can upgrade the speed with that. And if they manage to find some sort of way to put that into the iPhone as well, when you're in close range, right? For example, with an MagSafe plug, then you have AirDrop 3, and you have insane speeds. I feel like the speed with that connection is very fast. I'm not sure if it's as fast as Thunderbolt, but it's very fast. And it would resolve a lot of these issues, right? Of MagSafe only being for charging, right? It has to grow out of that. I feel like that's a good thing, right? It should grow out of that, and it should give us the option to not only charge but also just data transfer with each other, with near field communication or AirDrop or whatever. So yeah. Anyways, MagSafe plus AirDrop would be love and life. Yeah, that's life, and yeah, that's love. I do not care for USB-C, to be honest. I just just the speed of USB 2.0 is bad as fuck. Yeah, it is. It is very bad. I don't understand why it's still I don't understand why it's still at that speed, because they do have dongles for older iPad Pros. I feel like I told you guys that as well. That's pump up the speed to USB 3, if I'm not mistaken, for those iPad Pros with Lightning back in the day. But they didn't bring that to the iPhone. I'm not sure why, because that's just an easy step, right? They already have the blueprints, they have everything. So why not just put that in the new iPhone? But anyways, that's just how it goes. Let's continue.
On paper, the directive would constitute a significant change for the iPhone, as it would be forced to include USB-C, but the directive only applies to devices that charge via cable. The EU wants all phones to work with interoperable chargers. Here's what that means for Apple's Lightning port. A spokesperson for the EC confirmed to The Verge that if a device exclusively charges via wireless charging, it isn't required to include a USB-C port. That, alongside the 2-year transition period that the directive would allocate to companies to transition to USB-C, gives Apple ample time to mature MagSafe and abandon Lightning in favor of an all-wireless future. Apple's confusing port lineup has not gone unnoticed. Across the latest iPhone, iPad, MacBook Pro, Apple Watch, and AirPods models, Apple offers customers 4 completely different types of chargers to juice up their devices. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman highlighted the inconsistency in his Power On newsletter this past August. As Gurman noted at the time, Lightning served Apple well since 2012, but USB-C has clearly won out across the industry and has become the default connector for new devices. Tags: USB-C.
So yeah, it is very very important to obviously have Apple get out of Lightning eventually, because especially if they are going to stay with this USB 2.0 speed. I don't know, probably to walk on stage and say like, oh, look at the speeds that we have now, right? Which is fine. I mean, what company doesn't do that? But like, we have to get out of that, and hopefully it's going to be MagSafe with that proprietary connection that apparently Apple Watch Series 7 already has. And for a certain level, I feel like that is going to solve a lot of problems, maybe even with the speed, and also like with like this entire bullshit that the EU is bringing up, with like every phone, every device has to be charged, has to be able to be charged with USB-C, blah blah blah. Fuck it. We just go completely wireless, portless as well, and just get MagSafe with a combination of AirDrop 3, right? I feel like that is the preferred route. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I am actually getting tired. It's 9 o'clock. There's a lot more that we can talk about. We have like 5 more articles that we had to get into. But I feel like it is time for me to just head off. And obviously tomorrow is a big day. Probably it's going to be a big day. But yeah, I'm going to close off the stream. Such a great stream today, dude. Thanks.